India is one of the largest sources of immigrants to the United States, with nearly 150,000 people arriving each year. While the vast majority of Indians arrive in the U.S. legally, an estimated 200,000 who are undocumented are now believed to be in the U.S. Many come from relatively affluent regions of India, including the state of Punjab, where earlier this year, several hundred deportees were returned on U.S. military aircraft. From Punjab, Fred de Sam Lazaro filed this report.
Agriculture is the bread and butter of Punjab's economy, sustaining generations of farmers. But across the landscape of wheat fields are billboards promising a different kind of abundance, life in Australia, the UK, Canada, or for many the big prize, the USA. And for families who've made it, it's shouted from the rooftop, literally in this case, with a tall replica Statue of Liberty. With translator Gurpreet Singh, I popped in on Shamsher Singh's home.
America. The name is so big here.
He has a brother who's lived in America for 13 years, he told us.
Whenever we need something, if we want to buy some land, we ask for his help, and he helps us. America is royalty, and if our name is attached to the royalty, that is God's blessing.
Our nation is blessed to be home to millions of hardworking citizens of Indian and Southeast Asian heritage.
For half a century, legal immigration from Punjab and across India has grown steadily, especially since the 90s. The Hindu Festival of Light, Deepavali, has been celebrated at the White House. They've come from India's elite, doctors, scholars, and engineers, especially in the tech industry, and entrepreneurs in hospitality and trucking, among other businesses.
Overall, Indian migrants in the United States is now the second largest group of foreign-born people in the United States after Mexicans, which is quite stunning. Yeah, so that becomes...
Muzaffar Chisti is a senior fellow at the Migration Policy Institute at New York University Law School.
About 81% have at least a college degree. About 49% of Indian migrants in the United States have at least a master's degree, master's or doctorate. So it's a highly educated, highly prosperous.
And in the push-pull dynamic of migration, he says, the success of Indians abroad is a huge pull factor.
It is embedded from your childhood.
Ravinder Pannu made it big in Canada as a telecom entrepreneur. He now spends winters in a palatial home in his ancestral village, surrounded by homes being built with money earned abroad.
That house where you see the Indian flag?
Yes.
They live in America. You name it, everywhere you see that house, they live in Canada and America.
Pannu was born here, but his family has gone back and forth to North America, beginning with his grandfather, who emigrated to the West Coast in the early 1900s.
You know, when people see a grand house like yours and your success, do you think that a lot of people say, I can be like him?
But they don't think it took 40 years of my life to have a comfortable, life here in India or in Canada. So they don't see that.
They just see a fancy house.
Exactly.
It's part of what fuels a thriving industry of irregular migration by people with marginal education and prospects in a country that, despite substantial economic growth, produces far fewer jobs than job seekers. Many migrants have reached their destination, slipping in, overstaying tourist visas, or, especially in recent years, filing claims for asylum from persecution back home.
And once you apply for asylum, you have to be given a hearing. And that hearing takes years now to be scheduled. And during that time, you live in the U.S. lawfully, and you're authorized to work lawfully. That creates a magnet.
The Biden administration began to restrict the asylum option in 2024, deporting thousands after their claims were rejected. But Chisti says the second Trump administration closed the asylum option completely and very visibly. Shackled men perp-walked onto military aircraft, including this one that arrived in Punjab last February.
In general, people from India who are migrating with improper documents come from the lower middle class. They are bombarded by advertising all around them and on social media with images and promises of a glamorous lifestyle abroad. Many will borrow mortgage-sized sums of money to pursue their dreams.
We gave 50 million rupees.
23-year-old Jitendra Singh's family sold land and jewelry to raise nearly $50,000 for an agent who promised him passage to the U.S. He'd hoped to find work in the trucking business, which employs some 150,000 members of the Sikh community, whose hallmark turbans stem from a belief system that forbids cutting one's hair. Jitendra made it no further than the border post in San Diego, where he was arrested, frisked, and weeks later sent home on that military aircraft.
I had to throw my turban in the dustbin. There was nothing to comb my hair. All the days we lived there, we lived in bad conditions. We were handcuffed. Our feet were chained for 40 hours of the flight.
We have only this home which we built.
Jitendra's mother, Rajinder Kaur, fears they'll likely lose it to pay off their debt, victims of a thriving, fraudulent travel business.
They have offices everywhere. They cheat people, then they send them abroad, and they mislead the young people and show them dreams.
Sonu Singh is a local politician and social activist whom we accompanied as he visited a different victim family. Daler Singh, disabled and unable to work, and his wife Nirmal borrowed about $55,000 to send their only son, 22-year-old Harpreet, to America. Instead of the straightforward journey he was promised, he hopscotched from Italy to Spain and across Central America, sleeping in the jungle, extorted at every stop.
When we reached Guatemala, they took our passports away. Then they took our phones away. Then they asked for more money from us. Then day by day, they decreased our food.
6 months after leaving India, he crossed into San Diego from Tijuana and in short order found himself on a much shorter journey home, deported on the February military plane to a bankrupted family.
We thought in 1 year we could return the money. Now, every day, I get calls for money. What will I respond?
I will go to the High Court. I'll get justice from the High Court. We'll try to help get people's money refunded. People suffering from fraud.
He's filed dozens of cases so far, but it's a long shot in a justice system that moves slowly at best. And in a cruel irony, victims are reluctant to seek recourse against or refunds from traffickers.
The agent told us, for the same money, I will send your son again, if you don't file a case against me.
This is a supply chain of corrupt practices.
And New York University's Muzaffar Chisti says taking on the whack-a-mole global trafficking business is no easy task.
There's not a big Don sitting in California controlling this whole network. So you can crack down what's happening to the chain of supply in India, but you may not be able to do that in the Darien Gap. Some person just gets you from one part of the journey to the next, and then to the next, and someone gets you a visa.
For now, deportee Jitendra's family say they can only pray in thanks for his safe return and hope amid so much uncertainty for the future. With few job prospects here and the persistent, distorted images of glamour abroad, many experts say it will take time to see whether, how, or how deeply the Trump administration's message is resonating across the plains of Punjab. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Fred DeSam-Lazaro, near Amritsar, India.
Fred's reporting is a partnership with the Undertold Stories Project at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota.